Chelsea won, Liverpool won a brilliant game to start the season on a Sunday at 4:30. Always good games. Disasi with a debut goal. Salah's first time without a goal in the opening day. We're going to talk about it all on the full-time podcast. Chelsea are looking like a very, very scary team under Pochettino. And I think that result was probably the right result for both teams. It would have been quite dramatic if one team went and won it, but I think a draw is the perfect result for that game. We know that Caicedo has officially now gone to Liverpool. We'll talk about that in another video though. And the Chelsea still need some work in the transfer window. Do they need maybe an out-and-out goal scorer? I think that the money they've spent in the transfer window, it's getting close to £1 billion now in 12 months. It looks like it's in the rules of and the law of the Premier League of how teams spend money. And I think it's hard to say that it's unfair, because Todd Bowley, this is how he runs Chelsea, by putting lots of money into the club, and teams like Liverpool, Man United don't really. I don't know whether Chelsea have gone about spending their money that well. They've sort of looked like they've literally just splashed the cash everywhere, and whether they've just got players because of the teams we're looking at them is a argument. Though I do think that both teams, Liverpool and Chelsea, will be very competitive this season, and have got a very good chance of getting into the top four. Maybe that game they just made each other look good, and they were both really crap during the season. But I think the next few weeks will really show what the teams will be able to achieve this season. I think this game on the opening day, it's still a bit pre-season-y, and obviously the substitutions like Salah came off, Reece James did, and a lot of other big players with 20 minutes to go. Salah, who now hasn't it's his first time in 7 years that he hasn't scored on the opening day, so he was quite frustrated with that. But yeah, these big players were coming off with 20 minutes to go, and that wouldn't usually happen in a Premier League game. If this was in maybe November or further down the season, then their fitness levels were higher, then maybe they wouldn't be coming off because they're big players and they can impact the game. And I think Chelsea's defence were very good. Thiago Silva is not off it yet. I think there were still quite a few weak spots in Liverpool's defence. Chilwell had a very good game. I think Jackson looked very lively. Whether he is going to keep that throughout the season, we'll have to see. If you were going to offer a Chelsea player Jackson a few months ago, they wouldn't probably know who he was. I think he only scored 9 goals last season, but still, he may do well in the Premier League. He had that handball shout where he sort of had his hand here and his hand. That was not even looked at by the referee. I think it should have maybe been looked at. I think it would have been quite a, not a soft penalty, but a harsh penalty to give to Chelsea if they were going to give it. But at the end of the day, they didn't give the penalty, so we can't do anything about that. I probably would have given it. It's a handball, it's away from his body. So, Sterling was quite disappointing in that game. Enzo Fernandez got man of the match, which he probably deserved. There were quite a few players that game that could have got man of the match, but I think Enzo Fernandez deserved it. Chelsea play West Ham next week at the London Stadium. So, and also have no distractions over the week because they don't have European football. So that would be a very interesting game to see. Obviously, West Ham drawing 1-1 to Bournemouth. And did Liverpool maybe have to get, now that Caicedo's gone, we'll talk about that more in another video, they may have to get someone else in midfield because it didn't look too strong that game. They do really need another midfielder, another strong midfielder to come in there. And Liverpool play Bournemouth at home at Anfield next week as well. And I think they've got Europe over the week, but they don't have to focus too much on that. So I think Liverpool will get a result against Bournemouth, and I think Chelsea will probably get a result against West Ham. It'll just be interesting to see whether how both teams do on the second game of the season. Whether Liverpool's midfield, maybe defence as well, is getting weaker. But yeah, it'll all be interesting to see, and there'll be good games to watch. Obviously, Chelsea, West Ham. It's the 4:30 kickoff on Sunday. So yeah, very, very good. Cheers for watching. You've been watching the Full Time Podcast. Goodbye.